Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to share with you guys this tutorial on how I created this gorgeous smoky eye full glam look. So feel free to grab a snack, grab your phone if you want to take some notes down, and let's get into the video. Alright, so we're going to be starting with our eyebrows first, and I'm just going in with the Benefit Precisely My Brow pencil, and I use the shade 5. And I used to use the shade 3.75, but now because my hair's like really dark and pretty much black, 5 suits me better. Pretty much what I like to do is I like to brush the hairs of my brows up first, just using the opposite end, and I just gently like to fill in my eyebrows, just following the natural shape that I've already got. And pretty much what I like to do is I like to start from the middle and then bring it all the way up to the end, and just kind of like quickly brushing the product through using like backwards motions, just because I like the more like ombre brow sort of look. I don't know if you can see, but obviously it looks a little bit messy. You don't have to worry about that because you just go straight back in with your brush, and you can actually use it to diffuse that pigment so it's not as intense or not as bold. And you just want to diffuse it by brushing the hairs backwards and then putting them back in place again. Yeah, starting from the middle. And then what I like to do is when I get to the tail of my eyebrow, I like to just create a bit extra, just so like it kind of makes my eyebrows look a little bit longer. Now I'm going to run a clear brow gel through my hairs just to set them in place, and I'm going to be using the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Now this is a really good brow gel because once you put it on, your brows literally just stay in place. So I want to do really like traditional smoky eye sort of look, so I'm just going to set my eyes first with some concealer. I would definitely recommend doing your eyes first, especially if you're using black shadows to deepen up the pigment, because the fallout once it gets on your foundation, it's such a mission. So just using a flat eyeshadow brush and using that to carve out the bottom of your eyebrow, and then blending the concealer down the rest of the lid. This is just like another way to set your eyes when applying eyeshadow, and this will also help the eyeshadow's pigment to last all day and prevent it from going patchy. Otherwise, if you have an eye primer at home, just stick to that, that's just as good. Also, by carving over your eyebrow, it will just kind of create a more defined brow look, if that makes sense, especially if you use like a pomade, I don't know how to pronounce it. So now we're just going to set that concealer in place. It can be any kind of powder. I just like to use the highlighting shades of my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit just because they're easy and I don't really use them often, so I just want to make some sort of use out of it. But yeah, just using that to set the concealer. For today's look, I really want to create like a full glam smoky eye, and to achieve this I'm going to be using the By Mario Master Mattes palette. So to achieve a smoky eye look, you're going to at least need a couple of shades of brown as well as a black, as you want to create like a more gradient feel to it. So you want to be able to see the transition between the lighter brown, your medium shade of brown, as well as the black. So for my transition, I'm going to be taking the shade Matte 4. I'm just going to pack that all over the lid really, as well as like blending it out at the same time. As you can see, Matte 4 is just like a very tan light brown sort of shade, very universal. I'm just going to take a fluffier brush and just going to use it to soften out the edges a little bit more, and just using like soft circular motions. As you can see, it's kind of all over the place. It doesn't really matter where you put it. You can put it in your crease area and just focus blending it upwards. Otherwise, you can do what I've done and just chucked it everywhere. But pretty much what you've done is you've created your transition shade, the lighter brown that the darker shades will eventually blend into. So now we're going to take a medium brown shade, and I'm going to go in with the shade Matte 8 in this palette. Just going in with a smaller, fluffy blending brush. You're just going to want to mainly focus this in the crease area only. So popping that in our crease. So as you can see, it's just slowly deepening up that previous shade, and you can kind of like build up the intensity that you're wanting. I want it to be pretty intense. As we're deepening up our crease area, we are just going to drag it slightly down on the lid. This is kind of what the eye's looking like now. It should have a lighter brown blending on the outside and then a gradual blend into our deeper shade. That's kind of what we're wanting. So just going in with a smaller blending brush, you just want to take a black shade now, and you just want to pack it on the remaining of the lid. Awesome. So once you've packed it on, now you just want to blend it up into that medium brown shade. And remember guys, it's all about the blending when it comes to a smoky eye. That is pretty much our smoky eye done. It looks a little bit weird right now, but once we've done our full face, it will all come together. But as you can see, we've got our lighter shade of brown, and then it slowly blends into a deeper shade, and then obviously we've got our black. That's kind of what you want when going for a smoky eye look. I'm just going to quickly finish my other eye off camera, and then we can continue with our face. Smoky eyes are done. I'm now going to add some lashes on. We're going to be coating our lashes with the Sephora Size Up mascara. Also, just like a little tip, when using mascara, rather than going like that, because pretty much what it does, it's pushing air into the mascara bottle, which causes the mascara to dry up even faster. You just want to twist just like that. We're just going to be coating our top lashes. And for our false lashes, I'm going to be using the Sephora long lashes. This is what they look like. They're very natural looking, very wispy. They kind of like crisscross over each other, so it kind of helps with that wispy sort of look. But I really love these ones, and I feel like if you're doing like an intense deep eyeshadow look like a smoky eye, you don't want a really thick lash where it's just going to block out the entire look and you're just going to look like you have two black eyes. So I just like to literally pop it on my fingers and just kind of placing it in the middle area. And then work with the edges. Alright, so just while those lashes are drying, we'll continue with the face. I want something full coverage because I need something to cover up this situation that's going on here. We're going to be using the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. Honestly, if you're wanting a full coverage foundation that lasts all day, all night, this is definitely what you need. I use the shade 240N Toasted Coconut. I don't really know if it's actually the right shade for me. When I first used to use it, I did quite like how it looked. I thought it matched. But I don't know, it kind of has a bit of a, almost like a greeny sort of tinge to it where it doesn't match me, but like I can get away with it. I don't know, it's kind of weird, so I might need to like rematch myself with this because I do love this. Like even in the lighting here, see how it kind of has like a really olivey greeny sort of look? It is very thick, so a little does go a long way. So if you're someone that doesn't like heavy feeler foundation, then I probably wouldn't recommend this foundation for you. Foundation is diddly done. We're just going to conceal up our under eyes and all that dark stuff that we don't want. Putting it there, over here. But also, can we just like appreciate like the breakouts? Considering they were so red, very textured, but hey, texture is normal. Very textured, but the coverage is just so good with this foundation. I'm just going to use my beauty blender to blend out our concealer. This is the Juno & Co beauty blender. It's so good, so cheap, only costs like $10, but it's so good. It's meant to like not absorb as much product compared to other beauty blenders, and I truly believe that. I actually believe that this beauty blender doesn't absorb as much product. Alright, foundation, concealer is done. I am going to be setting my entire face with powder only because this foundation, I've never actually used like cream contour, cream blush with it, just because I'm a little bit worried it's not going to blend nicely. The foundation does dry out quite fast, so it's really best to work in sections. As usual, Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder to set the face. Like these two together, the foundation as well as the powder. I'll do one side to show you guys because it's so good. Just look at the difference. So this side has no powder whatsoever, has a nice matte luminous glow look to it, but this side has some translucent powder. It's fully matte, but just look at how blurred out my skin looks. And working with like a loose powder, I would definitely recommend a powder puff, just because you are able to press that product into the skin. This will kind of give a more flawless look. And it doesn't have to be this specific powder. Pretty much any loose powder that you use, if you're applying it with a powder puff, you're going to get the best finish of your life. Going back in with our Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour to the Gods out of our face because we want a really snatched look. Pretty much like where the whole of your cheekbone is, like if you kind of just look to the side, I'm going to follow that. And I usually just kind of go back and forth motions like this, but just using like a very light pressure when doing it. Also, don't worry about it looking too harsh because I like to clean up the edges with some loose powder. And we'll just use the excess of the brush to do our jawline. Going in with a smaller blending brush because we're going to contour our nose, our Squidward nose, and just like mapping out lines along the bridge. And then like blending inwards. I'm not gonna lie, whenever I use this foundation, I really love to do like harsh, intense contour. I don't know why, because it really stands out and I like it. Alright, so yeah, it's very harsh on the nose. Now we're just going to go back in with the bigger contour brush. Going to blend it and soften it out. And blending inwards into the bridge. Taking our Huda Beauty Glowish bronzing powder, we're going to use this to bronze our face. And just applying it above your contour. Just like that. So now I'm going to chuck on some blush, and I'm using the Sephora Flirt It Up as usual. I really like this because it's a very universal shade. It just kind of goes with every look that I do, I feel. And you can build up the pigment that you're wanting. Okay, we've got our very harsh blush, we've got our very harsh contour, our harsh bronzing. We're now going to soften it all up. Just going back in with diddly loose powder. Just taking like the tiniest bit, we don't want to do it too much, and we're just going to just underneath our contour. See how it's just sharpened it up and tidied up that area? And now just with the excess, we're just gonna gently pat away the edges just to soften up those parts. And then along the edge here. Alright, edges are all softened up. And well, the weather is so much better now, which is why it's kind of looking a little bit brighter and lighter in my room. Lighting is looking much better than it was at the beginning of this video. So now we're going to add some highlighter to the look. Going in with my usual Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit, and this is the Sun Dipped Glow Kit. And just taking that bottom shade here, Moonstone, just going with like a fluffy blending brush and just applying it to the middle part and then gently blending outwards. This is how I always apply my highlighter. I remember like back in the day when you do like a massive C, but it's changed, things are different now. And you tip on your nose, and then on the bridge, chin, cupid's bow, and just like the excess in the middle of the forehead here. And I am going to add like a little bit, just gently on our brow bone. So I'm somebody that personally loves a whole bunch of highlight, and so I'm going to keep adding a little bit more. I just love that glow, and I love like whenever you look to the side you just have like a beam of light and you're just like, we're almost done. I'm now just going to smoke out underneath my eyes, and I'm taking the Sephora smudge brush, and I'm going to be taking the medium shade first to smoke out underneath my eye. Just brushing along the lower lash line. Oh, like already can you just see how much it changes the look, like the effect that it gives. Oh yeah, I'm loving that. This is probably like the best smoky I've done. I've done some in the past, but I'm really loving how this is looking on me. Now, to make my eyes pop even more, I'm going to be going in with the Makeup Forever waterproof liner. This liner I absolutely love. Yes, it's waterproof, so it's a bit hard to clean, but it stays in place all day, it doesn't smudge. So to apply this, it's kind of like a crown applicator. You just twist it at the bottom here, and it actually has a sharpener as well, so you can sharpen it. I'm just going to be popping this liner in my lower lash line just to make this look pop. And just look at the difference it makes to your eye. Like, it's more dramatic, it looks more smoky. Holy shit. Just look at the effect. This, it's absolutely stunning. That was the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist Colour Pencil. Highly recommend. Comes in a whole bunch of other colours as well. Now it's literally time for the lips before we do our bottom lashes. Because we have a very dramatic bold eye look, we're going to do a very simple nude lip. And I'm going to be taking one of these shades from this little gratis that I got from work. This is the Huda Beauty Nude Love collection. So we've got the shades Crush, Girlfriend, Wifey and Sugar Mama. I'm probably going to go with either Wifey or Sugar Mama. They're the bottom ones along here just because I feel like they'll suit the look a little bit more. Her liquid lipsticks are honestly so good. Transfer resistant, they last all day, and she's kind of got like the perfect nudes as well, I would say. So I am going to go with some micellar water just to remove the foundation on my lips. If you're a big fan of lipsticks, whether it's a cream lipstick, liquid lipstick, matte lipstick, whatever, always make sure you put lip balm on before. This will just prevent the lipstick from sitting in the cracks as well as looking extremely dry, and we do not want that. So make sure you always put lip balm on, and I just use a fresh hydrating lip balm. I've got the mango flavour and it smells divine. So that's the shade Crush, that one just there. It's almost like a orangey nude, like it does have like maybe a little bit of brown in there. The next one is Girlfriend, so this is definitely a brown nude. So you have a look at that. These two are the ones I'm thinking of trying, which was Wifey and Sugar Mama. So Wifey is just that one, the very bottom there. It's actually quite nice. Like in person it does have like a slight pinky little feel to it, but it does have that brown feel as well. Sugar Mama is just at the bottom there, so kind of similar to that top one, but just a little bit deeper in colour. But they all smell amazing. It's kind of smelling like coconuts. Low-key like makes me want to have a pina colada right now. I reckon we're just gonna go with Wifey because it's not too light, it's not too dark. I think it'll be perfect. We'll go with Wifey. So I'm not gonna line up my lips, so I'm just gonna apply this straight on. Starting in the middle and then just following. Just using the edge of the applicator to like follow the natural shape of your lips. And getting from like the top. These are a liquid matte finish, so they apply on wet but they will dry matte. So just while my lipstick is drying, I am going to go in and do my bottom lashes. To complete this look, we're going to set our face. This is the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I know you guys have probably heard of this. I'm a bit late to the party. I literally bought it like a month ago and I've finally tried it out at least twice. And all I'm going to say is it does the job, but it's got like a really gross kind of smell. Like it's not bad, but it kind of smells like banana flavored paracetamol in a way. And also, once you like actually apply it, it takes a little while for it to dry, so it kind of just sits on your face quite tacky and quite damp, but it does dry up. But yeah, like I do like it. However, I do feel like no one talks about these things, like the smell, the actual feel of it. It definitely does do the job, but it's just those little things. This is the completed look. Our lips are slowly drying, they're getting there. But as you can see, it's a beautiful nude which perfectly complements your dark bold eyes. I hope you guys all enjoyed this tutorial on how I created this gorgeous bold smoky eye look. I'm absolutely pleased with the outcome. Like I said earlier, this is definitely the best smoky eye I've done on myself. From the base, the eyes to the lips, I just think it's perfection. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you like the look, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Feel free to send this tutorial because this looks really good. I'm very impressed with it and I'm quite happy, and I just can't stop looking at myself in the mirror. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all in my next video.